this thing was just a hammer on serves.
It doesn't swing like an extended. It's still very modern, fast filling.
2 thumbs up on this one. I really liked the playability of this racket. Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Head Extreme MP XL. A couple of updates to this one, Oak. It's got the high ball technology in it, which we're seeing in a lot of other head rackets, and there's XL in the name. Tell us what that means and what that meant to you as a player.
Yeah, so for the first time in a long time, we've got an extended length option within the Extreme line, which is really cool to see as a fan of extended length rackets. You're gonna get a little bit extra reach, some more leverage, and as a defensive player, that's gonna go a long way, literally, for getting to that extra ball and just helping me to get back into a point if I'm really on the back foot. But for an extended length racket, I found this one to handle extremely quick through the air. Usually with like 100 square inch hoops that are also extended in length, I feel like they tend to get a little bit sluggish. Swing weight tends to drift above 330 or so. But on average, our samples came in at under 330 when strung. So that was really cool for me to see. I don't know, did you feel like it played pretty fast or?
Yeah, really fast playing racket for me. Super easy to accelerate from the baseline. When you transitioned up to net and you were hitting your volleys, how was the touch and feel, the accuracy of the racket there?
I think that's one of actually the more underrated aspects of this franchise, the touch and feel on the Extremes. It's kind of classified more as like a power spin frame, but I felt like I could really hit my volleys pretty well, and I actually felt like I could take advantage of the extra length to get to balls a little bit earlier and cut off angles sooner. And for anything on the stretch or up high, really helpful to have against just some extra leverage to bring the ball back down.
Nice, let's touch on that extra leverage up high on the serve.
Amazing. That's probably going to be the highest performing area of the playtest for me. I felt like this thing was just a hammer on serves. Really fun for doubles, singles, you name it. Just a blast to hit serves.
And then lastly, for you on maneuverability on returns, etc., control on returns. I know that sometimes can be an issue with a longer racket. Any issues there?
You know, that was the biggest adjustment period for me with this particular frame was, really getting used to how the frame swung on return. It was just a little bit harder to go after like some smaller spots. I typically try to spot target pretty small on my return and just wasn't having a ton of success initially with that. But I tried to simplify the motion, shorten the backswing, and that worked out pretty well.
And then overall, let's have your summation here of the Extreme MPXL.
I think that overall, this is an extremely fast swinging extended length racket. So if you're somebody who likes that extra reach and leverage, this is an appealing option for that handling reason. And then on top of that, the stability in stock form at 300 grams, really impressive. So I think that this is a bit of a more off the beaten path option. And so I'm really curious to see what players sort of identify with this in this frame. But overall, I think it's an excellent frame.
Next up, we're checking in with our crafty lefty, Troy Lara. Troy, you do like extended length rackets. The Extreme MP used to be 27.25 right when it very first came out. I know you've hit all the Extreme models. This one's 27.5. How did it work out for you?
So first getting out on court, a 27.5 inch racket is very much like in my wheelhouse. I'm pretty used to it by now. I played with a bunch of them. The ones I play with most frequently are the E-Zone 98 Plus and the Whiteout 1820 Extended. And this one here, I was really impressed in the fact that going into it, knowing it's 100 square inch head size with an open string pattern, those rackets on top of an extended length handle, oftentimes the ball from the baseline is like really shooting, spraying, a little launchy. But right away when I started hitting from the baseline, I got a more comfortable response than I expected. And I also felt like I could swing out and I didn't have to worry about too much launchiness.
Now, did you have a favorite shot from the baseline, like a slice or a topspin? What was your favorite shot to hit?
I'd have to say the two-handed backhand drive was really easy with this. It was very forgiving on my two-handed backhand. I also liked it on the slice, but I would say that the other extended length rackets I usually play with, the swing weights are like 335, 340. I like a more beefier racket. And this one, I'd probably want to weight up in the hoop a little bit just to get a little more of my timing down.
Now, when you transition up to net, how did it work out for you on the volleys?
Super fast and easy depth, easy power. This was a great doubles racket because serving and volleying with it, it just felt very whippy up there. I could be crafty, I could use the angles. I still felt like it had pretty good touch and feel, kind of what Oak was talking about. And then just easy power. You don't have to do a whole lot. The ball comes in and out. and gets good depth. I would, like I said, probably beef it up a little just for that easy stability against real big hitters, but it was a fun, fast racket in it.
Now, Oak really liked the racket on serve. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, very easy on my shoulder. This racket's probably about 20, 25 grams lighter than what my customized extended rackets are. So it was just like really fast, really whippy. The spin serves just came with a lot of kick, a lot of spin. I just felt like, once again, that heavier, beefier racket on that flat first serve, that's where I was missing it.
Now, another super important shot is the return. How did this Extreme MPXL work out for you?
Kind of like I mentioned on my volleys, it was just a really easy racket. So for doubles, really fast, I could block the ball back easily. It didn't ever really feel too stiff or jarring, which is something that sometimes I find with these 100 square inch thicker beam frames. But once again, I did mention when I was doing my written comments, I lacked on that backhand that higher, beefier mass, because a lot of times on my return, I just shortly bunt it.
Now, overall, how did this one work out for you, and how do you think it fits into the headliner rackets in general?
Overall, I really like this one. It reminds me a lot of some of the V-cores in the sense that you get this power spin, but you still have a good balance of touch and feel and not too stiff. I think if I customize this one, I'd match it up pretty well with like the V-core 98 Plus, get it up there. But overall, I really thought it was a versatile racket, much more easy power than the Gravity MPXL. And I think for anybody out there that wants to try an extended, give this one a shot because it doesn't swing like an extended. It's still very, very modern, fast filling. Chris, now I know you've hit some extended length rackets in the history of your playtesting. What do you think of this one so far?
Yeah, I've kind of gone back and forth. I've used both standard and extended length rackets as my racket of choice. And one of the reasons is I really like the leverage I get from a racket just like this one on the backhand slice. And this Extreme MPXL was hitting some nice slice. I really was able to use that leverage. I felt like I could hold that shot super long, and then right at the last second, just use my wrist to either direct the ball down the line or pull it cross court. I was able to get some nice angles with it. And for a power racket, I thought it had nice touch too for when I wanted to sneak in a little slice drop shot. So I felt like it helped me with my variety on that wing. And then when I was coming over the ball on the backhand side, we'll just stick with right now, plenty maneuverable for the one-handed backhand. So I felt like I could whip it around, get it around my body quickly. I wasn't late, which has been an issue with me with some extended length rackets in the past on my Wani. Not with this one, really easy to accelerate through contact. And then topspin on the forehand was great. Easy access to power, plenty of spin to get me to the ball dropping inside the lines. I felt like I could flirt with the corners more than I could with, say, some other sort of longer power rackets and not have to worry about overhitting. So yeah, from the baseline, really enjoyed this one.
Nice. Yeah, kind of like you were saying with that touch and feel and that dwell time on the backhand slice. How did that affect your net game going up and hitting your volleys?
Yeah, I thought that it transitioned really well. Lots of feel, lots of control, and there's enough power that I didn't feel like I had to work when I wanted to punch the volley away. Racket was nice and fast, I could get it through, and I could also cup under the ball nicely and get some slice on it just to, add to the angle or make the ball drop a little quicker on a drop volley. I do like the added length on the lower volleys. I like them around my shoelaces. Getting older, I don't want to bend down as much these days. And so this was a good racket. Made me get to those balls a little easier, maybe a bit lazier than I technically should be, but it made volleying super easy.
Yeah, you had some nice half volley pickups. I've seen a couple of those ones. Now going to serve, usually that 1/2 inch of length really adds to the power. What do you think overall?
Yeah, so a serve, I'm always looking for a little bit of help on the serve. Just from some shoulder injuries, I don't have a really flexible in the back scratch position. And so this racket definitely helped juice it up for me. I'm typically in the mid 80s to low 90s, and I was more in the low 90s than I was in the mid 80s with this one, which is good for me. It means I'm getting plenty of pop, getting super access to spin. So I'm hitting mostly slice serves. I was able to get the ball to drop inside the box quickly. I got some nice slice serves wide, and then also cutting some into the body, which was good too. And then on the second serve, felt like I didn't have to really change up much. I was basically hitting 2 first serves with this racket and staying steady enough.
And then there was a couple times I was hitting some serves at you, and I thought I hit a really good one. Maybe that extra half inch just gave you some range, but you had some pretty good returns with this racket.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. I did return well with it. Again, it is for a longer racket, very maneuverable, and I think that's key for me on the return and doing those quick exchanges at net too. But on the return, I felt like, again, I had a lot of options on the backhand wing. I could come over it because the racket was whippy enough, had good whippability, as you would say. And then on the slice, again, I could hold that ball, could go down the line, could go cross court. I felt like in doubles play, I could drop that slice low at the income of volleyer's feet, kind of give him a volley that to dig up and give my net partner something to look at. And then good pop when I was driving over it too. So fun racket on the return as well.
Yeah, so just to sum it up, maybe compared to some other extended length rackets you've tried, what do you think your overall response was with this one?
Yeah, I think it's really nice that there's an extended length option to the extreme line. Also an extended length option in the head racket lineup that has some pop, because we have the gravity, but that's a very controlled, buttery, smooth racket. This one's more power spin. So I think that's good, and I think it competes really well with something like a Slinko Blackout, something like that, or a Pure Drive Plus. This is right in there, has its own unique feel, so I think it's something you want to demo this against those rackets, just find out what works best for you. But for me, 2 thumbs up on this one. I really liked the playability of this racket. I think Head did a great job. Let's wrap this one up by talking about the strings we have in them today and the tension we went with.
So we went just straight up with our favorite Head Poly, the Head Link store, in 2 different colors. We tried the 17 gauge, and I even preferred the 16 gauge just to kind of tone down that open string spacing at 52 pounds.
Awesome, thanks Troy. That's all we got for this one. For more information on the Head Extremes or anything tennis related, be sure to go to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.